Hey fellow gamers! I had recently a good discussion with someone regarding PC gaming versus console gaming. I'm sure every one of you had already at some stage this discussion. And I think we've made a couple of good points, and also we reviewed what's the current status in, let's say, the industry and between the gamers. And things are no longer the same as they were a decade ago, much less 20 years ago. So I think it's kind of a 50-50 decision right now, but let's go a little bit into detail. We started to discuss this basically because of what you see currently on the screen, that the Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition has been announced for PC, and I was completely ecstatic and happy because I was playing the original Horizon Zero Dawn as well, of course, and I was really looking forward to have this on the PC. Yes, of course, people who have consoles have been already playing this game for quite some time, so inevitably the reply was, why don't you just buy a console? You could have played the game already much sooner. To which I replied, well, yeah, but I'm a PC gamer, I'm not really a console gamer, and that's how the discussion started. I was looking at, let's say, some article, something that would be as a good guidance for this chit-chat, because this is again one of those blah-blahs where I don't have like a pre-written script, so apologies if I start to blabber too much. And I found something quite good, so here's the article. Which is explaining, I think, both sides, and I just had a couple of points which I wanted to add to each of those, items here. So the first thing which they were looking at was the budget, as you can see on screen. And yeah, it's true that the consoles are relatively budget friendly compared to a good gaming PC. So of course there's also differences in the PC setup that you want to go with. You can go with just, some relatively budget-friendly computer which will not be having super awesome specs and will still fulfill the task for which you are buying it, and then of course you can have something custom built which will be like full of the newest items, and of course those can be quite expensive. So I think in this case, yeah, I do have to agree that the consoles are a bit cheaper. On the other hand, what I think is something that needs to be thought about here, or what we need to keep in mind, is that the consoles, the lifetime of a console can be quite shorter than the lifetime of a PC. So just to give you an idea, I have a custom built PC, not the current one but the previous one, which I've got, and I think it's 19 or 20 years old by now, and I have to knock on wood, it wasn't yet having any bigger issues, and I am keeping it around only because it still runs on Windows 7. So some of you will now wonder, what the hell is this, Windows 7? So yeah, it's that old. And I have still some old games installed there which you basically cannot even play anymore on Windows 10 unless those games will be upgraded to be playable on Windows 10. So there's a couple of old items that I have there. Of course, there's one of the things where I tell myself, okay, don't forget you cannot go online, because going online with this computer will just, be a mess. But it tells you something about, the investment that you have. So even though the PC did cost quite a lot at the time, it still serves the purpose 20 years later. Yes, of course, you will not be able to play the newest games on it, but again, it's just a question of exchanging some hardware if I would want to, and upgrading some software. And it's usually not, if it's custom built, it's usually not so problematic to exchange it. But let's go back to what's written here in this article. like I've said, for a PC gamer, there's a wide variety of options to buy if you choose to build your own computer, but not every PC gamer has their own custom-built machine. That's true, because the current one which I'm having, which I'm using also right now, is not a custom-built one. It's I can tell you right away, it's an Acer. I did buy it. Some people will maybe laugh now. Yeah, Acer. It's awesome. I am very, very happy to have it. It also wasn't exactly the cheapest option, and I think it's now 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, running perfectly fine, the newest games. And when I was checking out some games which will be coming next year or in the next 2 years, where we already know the specs, I'm perfectly fine, good to go. And if there will be something that I might need to exchange, it will most probably be the graphic card, but that will not cost me as much as a new PC or as a new console. So it's technically still something that will serve me again for quite some time. So just from my own perspective, okay, yeah, I do agree with this. There's variety in the PC world, let's say, so you can buy various options. With a console, you are kind of limited because you really have a pre-made console which has a specific price, and that's it. Technical skills. And there's one good thing here which I was wondering about at first. Generally, PC gamers need to have more technical skills than console gamers. Now, people who know me personally will have a good laugh. Because I used to always say I'm a technical anti-talent. So every time when I was seeing also, for example, at work, some email from the IT department, all I was understanding was there is an issue with IT gibberish. We need to immediately do IT gibberish. So that was about my understanding of the whole PC world. And I do agree with this because I realized, okay, even though I call myself technical anti-talent, which I still think I am compared to other people, it does require some technical skill. So you need to understand your hardware and you need to understand your software and how they work together. And like it's written here, so console gamers need to be able to install the sequel or update their games. PC gamers need at least a minimal level of technical skills, even if they purchased a pre-built gaming computer, and that's true. I was actually realizing when I was reading this article how much I have learned since I started to play games on PC. How this added to my skills. And I will say right away here on this point, if you're now thinking about maybe buying the newest console or maybe going into PC gaming, and this is one of the things where you think, okay, I will not manage this, you will. If someone with a technical anti-talent like me has managed, I can tell you it's nothing that you cannot manage. So it's really easy today, especially when you have everything online. There is a solution for everything online, whether you encounter a problem or you're just not sure what to install, how to install. Go online. And I think the difference between the technical skills needed for the PC gaming and what I've described, for example, from my work, this IT gibberish, is that at least for the PC gaming, when you go online, you will find really very easily explained, even for people who are just starting out. So I would not be afraid of this side. Let me just tell you that. So yeah, good example that it works actually. Advantages of console gaming. Consoles have advantages over PCs. They are easy to use, don't require upgrades, make for simple multiplayer with console-owning friends, are generally cheaper, and use wireless controllers. So I fully agree with all of that. I think, yes, this is something that you should take into account when you are starting to choose whether to use this one or that one. They are super easy to install, so yes, it's not so complicated maybe as with a computer. They don't require upgrades. Yeah, they don't require upgrades, but a couple of years later you have to buy a new console, so let me go back to that. Make for simple multiplayer with console-owning friends. That's true. With the PC gaming or with PCs, you are relatively limited. You can only play multiplayer with people or on games which allow multiplayer on PCs and which are not just console tied, I would say. Not sure what would be the best word here, but you really need to keep that in mind if you are a person or a gamer who would like to do a lot of multiplayer. Console might be the better option. Me, for myself, I am not really into multiplayer. I'm not saying I never played multiplayer, I did, but it's not something that would be very feasible for me, also time-wise. Usually I play games when I have some time, which is quite late in the evening, and not many of my friends or the people I know are online at the time. At a certain age you all have families and other different stuff to do than play games online. It's not something that would be very feasible for me, and also what I prefer usually are single player RPGs, because you can play them at your own pace, and it's the decisions you are doing are your own. You are not relying upon other gamers. And also, consoles are generally cheaper, yes, I fully agree. So they are. Depending on which computer you buy, you can play these days games even on laptops. But again, laptops have the tendency to be already then not exactly cheap when you are buying some which can play the newest games. So yeah, I fully agree with those points for the console. You don't have to upgrade hardware. Like I said, all you have to do is buy a new console every couple of years. And you can, of course, if you keep the old console with the old games, you can still go back to those even years later and play those if you just punch in the other console and play. I think that is something that, again, is for me more convenient on the PC. I don't have to switch 10 PCs. Okay, sorry, I just mentioned the 20-year-old PC here, but I don't necessarily have to change the computers if I want to play some older games, because a lot of the older games are now available as well for Windows 10 and for the newest PCs. So for me it's a bit more convenient. Console exclusive titles, and we are here now at the topic where the entire discussion started. So yes, there's a positive side and a negative side. The positive side for the consoles is that there are a lot of titles which come out on console first, and then they either don't come out for PC at all or many years later. The first one used to be like that in the past, so they were really console exclusive games which never ever came to PC. I think the trends in the gaming industry are that, of course, many of those companies releasing the games are relatively large businesses, which of course want to earn money. And a lot of them have already realized that if they make something exclusive to just one specific console or just for PC, they might exclude, a lot of the gaming population, and they might lose out the income from that population. So a lot of them have already realized it's better to release the games basically everywhere, whether it's PC, consoles, whatever, mobile these days. They are just now, let's say, doing it in a way where they say, okay, let's do it as a console exclusive for maybe the first year and a half, and then we release all the rest. But sooner or later they will release the rest. So for me, again, this is something where I tell myself, well, look, there's so few games which never make it to the PC. I can live with that, and if it's something that is a console exclusive at first, like Horizon Forbidden West. I don't mind waiting 1 year or 1.5 years until I have it on PC, but I prefer to play it on PC. So for me, this point is kind of obsolete these days, to be honest. And now we are at the point where I'm laughing already when I'm reading it. As you can see on the screen, this is something that has killed me from the start. So I have had a console borrowed a couple of years back over a longer period of time with different kind of games, so I can play around with it and see if I can get friendly with the controller, and I couldn't. So this is for me personally the biggest downfall of all the consoles. I just can't handle the controllers, and to this day I say there's nothing better than a keyboard and a mouse, and especially for shooters where you need accuracy. I mean, I was trying to play Mass Effect, I'm not sure if it was the second or the third one on that console, and I was going crazy. I was playing like the first 10-15 minutes and I just wanted to throw the controller away. So it was terrible, and I just couldn't. I mean, I did play a few other games and the controller was fine for those, but I just couldn't do RPGs or, like, you know, shooters or stuff like that. Or no, it was a complete no-go. There's a lot of advantages that the keyboard and the mouse bring. It's better accuracy, and like it's mentioned here, you know, you can customize your PC, create hotkeys, you have better visuals, peripherals, so you can add a ton of peripherals. I mean, I have here a ton of things now. So I think the PC, or for myself, the PC, the keyboard and the mouse is a bigger advantage than the controller for the console. So the visuals are better, but again, you need to have good peripherals, of course, as well. So it doesn't really help you if you have a good graphics card and then, you know, the screen in front of you is just crap. Yeah. Oh, cooling. Let's not forget cooling. Invest into that, especially if you're playing for a couple of hours or you have the computer running for a longer time. Yeah, cooling, I would say that's an important part which wasn't mentioned here. PC games cost less, and I'm not really sure if that's true. I cannot compare because I don't have a console, but from my experience, yes, if you have some games which you want to buy, maybe don't buy them right away, but usually if you wait a little bit, the games cost less over time. And these days, especially if you are a relatively new gamer and you want to look into older games as well, you can buy them for ridiculous prices. I think it was visible in one of my previous vids when you were looking at the GOG site, so the good old games. They were offering The Witcher 2 like for €3. So yeah, go ahead and buy it, guys. You know, €3, that's nothing. Should have waited. Yeah, from my side, like I said, it's up to you. It's a personal preference. Some people want to, you know, just turn on the console, start playing, and that's it. And they don't want to use it for anything else, just for gaming. If you have a PC, I think it has additional advantages, maybe which are not mentioned here. If you want to do something else other than gaming, there's a good advantage in having already a PC when you are starting, for example, to be a YouTuber. If you want to do some other stuff as well, if you are also writing, for example, or if you are, you know, just maybe if you want to work from home, or if you want to use the computer also, I don't know, for other family members. It can fulfill so many functions which a console cannot. Here it's getting then offset on the pricing. Yes, console is a bit cheaper, but you still need some additional stuff if you want to do something more than just play games. And that's when you start to see the prices offset. So in summary, I really think it's up to you. You need to keep in mind what you prefer, whether you prefer, multiplayer, or you prefer just to play, some single player games, whether you want to, just play and nothing else, then go for the console if you are okay with the controller. If you prefer, the options that you have with the PC, like the keyboard and the mouse, where you can set up the keyboard and hotkeys and everything, go for that. One additional good point, I think, which speaks at least for me, for the PC gaming mods. If you want to mod your games, it will be super easy to do on a computer, and you can have a completely new, different experience when you start to play a modded game. I hope it helped you a little bit if you were thinking about whether to maybe change to PC or whether to, forget the PC and go to consoles. It should be something which is a personal decision. I don't think that it's these days valid anymore to say, the console is better than PC or PC is better than console. I think it's about 50-50. So I hope it helped a little bit, my ranting here, or my blah blah. Let me know in the comments below if you have some other points which I think I might have forgotten, and which speak either for the console or for the PC. I will link the article in the description. Also, small self-promo. Please, if you can, and if you really like my content, even this blah blah, please push that subscribe button. It will really be helpful and it will help me grow. And on this spot also, thanks to everyone who already subscribed. I was really surprised that it just took 2-3 days for a couple of people already to subscribe. Thank you, that was really great. And yeah, that's it. I wish you all very nice day. Stay tuned and game on.